You ready to get into some hoops tonight? I know, right? I like hoops, but man, I wish it had fewer cards. Anyway, we are going to open a half case of it tonight, and it is the back half of a case that we started on Wednesday night, which was the release night for it. Meanwhile, we got a little info to go over before we start ripping. Feedback, automated 100%. Anytime you leave positive feedback for me, you are instantly going to get the same in return. And second thing there, thank you. Appreciate you being here. Always appreciate those who bid and break and chat with me. Keep me company as we go through some of these, like tonight. It'll be kind of a long one. This is how it stacks up in the days ahead. So tomorrow night's going to be an off night. Got a lot of sorting and shipping to get done. On Monday, we will open Leaf Best of Baseball, Immaculate Basketball, and Gold Label Baseball, all by the full case. On Tuesday, we're going to open a half case of Leaf Autograph Mini Football helmets and Topps Update Jumbo. And on that one, base won't ship to the teams. It has its own bidding category. You can read the listing description for really specific information about what is and is not included in the base category versus what is and is not included going to the teams. On Wednesday, we're going to start early because it's a new release day. We'll start at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. We're going to open 2019-20 Flawless Collegiate, Topps High-Tech Baseball, and Certified Basketball, all new releases for Wednesday. We're going to open each of them by the full case. On Thursday night, we'll be busy again. It'll be a half case of Leaf Autograph Football jerseys, which is 5 boxes, makes up a half case of that. A full case of Topps Archive Signature Series Retired Player Edition. Flawless Basketball, another half case break of that. And then Bowman Chrome Jumbo, also known sometimes as the HTA version. We're going to break a case of that. We've broken a lot of Bowman Chrome, but this is going to be the first Jumbo that we've broken for the year. So yay for that. No base cards in that one. It is all hits, which is so awesome. Here's what you need to know about what we're opening tonight. First of all, everybody's going to pull cards in here, so we don't have to worry about consolation cards. Every single person's going to get a package. Second piece of information, no mail service on Monday because of Veterans Day. So no mail will be picked up, no mail will be delivered. I am therefore anticipating that what we're opening tonight will get out the door to you approximately Wednesday. If I can get it out to you on Tuesday instead, of course, I will happily do so. Please be aware that I may be printing labels tomorrow or Monday. Even tonight, if I do, understand that those will, even though the labels are printed then, they're not going to be picked up and going out the door until Tuesday because of, Veterans Day. Last little piece of information, Veteran Base has its own bidding category in here. The Veteran Base does not ship to the teams. I'm sure everybody saw that in the listing description, so that shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody, hopefully. This is a 10-box half case break of 2019-20 Hoops Basketball, and this is break number 2. This product came out Wednesday. This is the back half of the case we started then. And, of course, this all ended tonight on eBay Saturday night, the 9th of November. We've got our team names there on the left-hand side, winning bidders across from each team on the opposite side. And then, once again, Veteran Base has its own bidding category, so all those cards go right down here to that lucky bidder. And everything's all paid up tonight. Thank you, everyone, for that. So that is awesome. We don't have to worry about trying to find homes for teams. Last little bit, I'm going to change up the focus. You will notice that your background went out of focus by a little bit, but that is by design. So don't let that worry you. It's actually just going to let us see our cards up closer than we might otherwise be able to. So, of course, this being the back half of a case, we don't have to pull them out and number them and all that because somewhere along the way we already did that. Oh, that's right. We did left side of the case, right side of the case. I remember now. I let you guys decide between left side and right side when we got started. So here are the remaining 10 boxes from that case. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They are all there. We are looking for 2 autographs per box Always on average. Panini loves that wording, on average. That's because every once in a while they'll screw up and not give us what we're supposed to have. That happened last year with a few boxes of hoops. And more often it means that they sometimes replace one of our hits or one or more of our hits with a points card. If we pull any of those Panini Rewards points cards tonight, they will, of course, be given out using random at the end of the break. As we go through this first box, we will go a little bit slower for me to kind of give you an idea of what's what. We'll talk a little bit more, excuse me, about what is going to the teams, what's going to veteran base, what the different inserts are, etc. As we move into subsequent boxes, we will go much faster than we're going to go through this first box. Once everybody's familiar with what's what and how it's shaking out, we'll be able to speed it up a bit to get through the remaining boxes. Hi, Kenson. You were asking about any unsold teams. Now, everything got paid tonight, so yeah, nothing up for grabs tonight, but always appreciate you checking on that and your willingness to step in there if we did have any. But everybody paid on time, so thank you once again, everybody, for that. Jay Allen, you have the Rockets, the Pistons, and the Blazers. Last night, Jay Allen, I pulled a card of, I don't even remember who it was right now. It was John somebody or another, and for whatever reason, I, tried to call him John Allen. I was like, what am I doing? But you would have appreciated it, because I was totally, for whatever reason, I just, I now associate John with John Allen. So there we go. Mickey's here. Hi, Mickey. You have got the Nets and the Jazz in here. All right, my friend. We'll work on the Nets and the Jazz mojo for you, and the Rockets, Pistons, and Blazers mojo for Jay Allen. Yeah, it was too funny if you'd been on there last night. And then I kind of had to explain it because, people are probably wondering why because it was like not even a remotely close last name. So I had to kind of explain. I was like, yeah, well, it's like this, you see. But anyway, it was funny. It made me laugh. All right, so hoops. It's a long break primarily because we've got so many base cards and so many flipping packs to open. They could accomplish it a little more conveniently if they just put more cards per pack and fewer packs per box, but they're never going to do that. All right, so this is an example of just plain veteran base. Now that is not, because that has an RC on it for rookie card, that goes to the teams. Anything that looks like this that's just plain veteran base, it does not go to the teams. It goes to the veteran base category. All inserts, like for instance this fellow, high voltage for the T-Wolves with Andrew Wiggins. That is an example of a card that would go to the teams. So that's kind of, as we go along, as I said, through this first box, we'll spend a little bit more time on this sort of thing. Now, road to the finals. A good deal of these are numbered really high. This particular one is to 2019. So as we come across these, when they're really high numbered like that, we're not always going to flip them over and look at the number. For some of the lower numbered ones, we might, but a lot of them are to like 2019 to 999 and, kind of crazy stuff by today's standards anyway. This, of course, is considered an insert because of that little tribute down there. There's a whole lot of these tribute inserts featuring different players. So that, of course, goes to the teams, as do courtside inserts. Also to the teams. Literally, the only thing the veteran base gets is the veteran base. They don't get any of this other stuff. We will find plenty of these. It is called Action Shots. It's a hollow foil card. They're not generally numbered. If we do run across one that is numbered, I will, of course, point that out to you as we go along. But otherwise, in future boxes, we'll kind of keep on trucking. And what else? There's other inserts. We just haven't come across them quite yet, but we will. Here's one, as a matter of fact, called Zero Gravity. And there are possibilities to pull those in the hollow foil version. Those are a little more rare than pulling them in just the plain version. So when we pull a hollow foil, I will point it out going forward. When it is just a standard paper version like you just saw, we won't necessarily be pointing that out. We Got Next, another insert series featuring mostly our younger players. Those two can come in hollow foil. That one was not, but it is possible to find them that way. Road to the Finals to 999, so another high-numbered one of those. There's still, I think, other insert series as well that we haven't seen yet that we probably will see before we get out of this first box, because these are pretty well loaded with inserts. That's one thing about hoops. There's lots of rookie stuff and lots of inserts in it, which makes it kind of fun. I'm stopping on this one to point something out to you, because you'll see here that it gives you a signed by date or a signed on date. Sometimes it gives you a traded date, and I'm pointing it out because you'll see the team on here is the Hawks, and there's your notation about when it happened. But obviously he's in a Wizards uniform, but the card's going to go to the Hawks because that is the team that is designated on the card. Now in that case, that was a veteran base, so it didn't really particularly matter. But we may also come across some of those potentially in inserts and other things. If we do come across them, it is always going to go to the team that is printed on the card itself. The uniform the player is wearing is not what decides it. It is the team that's written on the card. So I like to always point that out so everybody's kind of clear on it. This is a parallel, but it is not a numbered parallel. So whenever you see that kind of purple on the border, you'll know we're looking at a parallel, but an unnumbered one. Nonetheless, because it is a parallel, it does go to the team position rather than the veteran base category. Spark plugs. These seem to come out generally about one per box, maybe occasionally a little more or a little less. But this is Damian Lillard for the Blazers. Guy who just dropped in like 80 million points recently. Franchise record number of points, I think, as a matter of fact. Bill Russell, Legends of the Ball. Another insert, another hollow foil. Once again, not typically numbered. If we see one that is numbered, I will certainly point it out to you. Giannis. Now this little bad boy is numbered. It is a hollow foil, and you'll see down there in that lower right-hand corner, it is numbered to 99. And generally speaking, whenever we have these green hollow foils, they are going to be numbered to 99 pretty much throughout, is my experience. Looks like we are, there was a rookie there, we're about to see our first autograph out of box number 1. It is headed to Memphis with a little Brandon Clark rookie ink for the Grizzlies. NBA City. Another insert series goes to the teams, of course. Embiid on that one. That is another card that will have some hollow foil variations. Even though they are hollow foil, they are, again, typically not numbered. Kobe Bryant, another Legends of the Ball. Nice thing about hoops is they are numbered on the front, so we don't have to worry about whether or not there's numbering. We'll see it there on the front if it's on there. Action shots, Anthony Davis for the Lakers, another example. He's in his Pelicans uniform, but clearly we can see it is the Lakers there noted on the card itself, so that's where he'll go. There are a few players in here, Kevin Durant being one, that are maybe in here for 2 different teams. There are a couple of Kevin Durant inserts in here that we ran across that reflected the Golden State Warriors, but the vast majority of the Kevin Durant stuff in here correctly reflects his new team of the Nets. But there are a few highlights and things, or whatever they were, that were the Warriors, and of course the ones that say Warriors will go to the Warriors, and the ones that say Nets will go to the Nets. Here's Okiki for the Magic. That's an example of We Got Next that is a hollow foil. So those are, again, are not numbered, but just simply a variation on the standard paper version of that insert. I think, oh, there's a nice Luca parallel. So I think that's probably, we've hit the majority of the different insert types as we've gone through box one. But if we come across a different one that we haven't spoken about in one of the subsequent boxes, I'll point it out. Otherwise, you know, we're going to kind of truck on through it. Ennis for the 76ers. James Ennis is the second autograph out of box number one. And this, oh yeah, I forgot about these. When we see a silver border hollow foil, those are numbered to 199. So the green border hollows are to 99. The silver border hollows are to 199. And by hollow, I mean hollow foil. Just the type of coating that's on the card. All right, so that was basically Hoops 101. That's the breakdown of what we're going to see. And now the rest of these boxes, we're going to blast through them a little bit faster in the essence of time because it takes a while to get through all of this stuff. It certainly does. And you know, my UK Wildcats are playing football right now, and I got so busy working on listing and invoicing and trying to get some stuff organized for what I needed to do tomorrow and all that, I forgot to turn the game on. I don't think I've ever done that. Well, I probably have ever, but not recently. And yeah, it started at 7:30. I did see a little score update. We're playing Tennessee, so arch rival Tennessee. And the last score update I saw, I believe it said we were ahead, maybe by like 10 points or something. So now I'm even super more bummed that I messed around and got busy and forgot to turn on the game. Especially if we beat Tennessee, although I doubt we're even to halftime yet, so a lot of game left to be played, but nonetheless, I can't believe I did that. It's so unlike me. I'm generally so in tune to my my stuff of like my sporting events. I just completely got mentally sidetracked. Jay Allen, you said 14 zip is the last you saw. Okay. I thought Tennessee had like 3 points. So I thought we were ahead like, well, something stupid. I thought it was like 13-3 or 14-3 or something. So maybe we have 14 and they have, maybe they kicked a field goal or something. Or maybe I just read it wrong. That's also possible. I just saw it flash by. I was more interested in who looked like they were ahead than the actual score. Just because it was, you know, I didn't have time to really dig in. I just literally saw it flash by and I'm like, ooh, it looks like Kentucky's up. So that was my main concern. But yeah. So hopefully we're playing a good game, maybe. Or heck, we can play a bad game. I don't care, as long as we win. We can play poorly, just win. That's all I care about right now. Beat Tennessee. Doesn't have to be a pretty win. It can be super ugly, and I'm still fine with it as long as the W goes next to Kentucky. Oh, I know an insert we haven't seen yet, but we will. It's called Tip-Off, I think it is what it is referred to in here. We'll see it when we... Well, obviously we'll see it when we find it, but I'm saying we'll double check the title of the insert when I find it. Backstage Pass. We didn't see any of those in box number one. Basic insert comes like the others, does come in a hollow foil version, but I have yet to see one of those numbered. This is an example of Kevin Durant Nets. So shows him in a Warriors uniform. Ignore that. Nets is the important part. Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks highlights. Now these are a little more elusive. We found, and it's a hollow foil, I think we found maybe only one highlights in the first half of this case, 2 at the most, but I want to say maybe only one. There were not a tremendous amount of them, but we'll probably find at least a few more. But the other insert I was talking about, tip-off, will have 2 different, this little guy tried to go out of my hands, a Mikal Bridges base card. It'll have 2 different teams on it because obviously, you know, it's the tip-off at the jump for the ball at the start of the game. And any of those we find, I will just set them up there in housekeeping as we go along. And then at the very end of the night, I will use random.org and we'll determine whether those go to the team on the left side of each card or the team on the right side of each card. But we haven't seen one yet, but we will see it. Oh, it's 13-9 with 5 to go in the second. Okay. Or no, you said 13-3. Okay, 13-3. Almost out of the second half. All right. Insert for J.J. Redick. But it is still Kentucky, right? Kentucky's still up. As long as we're still up, I'm happy. Shaq. Legends of the Ball. Yeah, Kentucky football is a tough one. We were pretty good last year. Then we've been very up and down this year. And, of course, our backup quarterback transferred, who had been our backup. Then our primary quarterback promptly got hurt, like first or second game. Pretty much probably done for the year. And we had a quarterback transfer in. Then that kid got hurt. Not out for the year hurt, but hurt. So now we have a wide receiver playing quarterback, although he was a quarterback in high school. Jack Marin for the Washington Bullets. The former Washington Bullets are the current Washington Wizards. So the Bullets, of course, goes to the Wizards. That's to 199 Jackson Hayes for NOLA. And yeah, so you never know with Kentucky football, kind of what we're going to get from year to year. Although we're definitely getting better most years since we've had Stoops there. He seems to have made a pretty good difference or impact, whatever, on our program in general. There's another we got next that is the hollow foil version. That one had Jarrett Culver on it. Kentucky basketball looks pretty good this year from what I've seen so far. So I'm hoping we're going to have a good season. You never know. Kevin Porter Jr., Cleveland Cavaliers. Our second autograph out of this box, the Rookie Ink card set. You know, I would like to do a full case of this, but I don't know. I think it would take like, I bet you it would take close to 4 hours to break a full case of this. It's 25, low number for the Nuggets with ball or bowl bowl? Ball. Well, anyway, you know who he is. Kimba. As a Celtic, I'm never going to get used to that. Spark plugs. They had a nice little tribute video for him, though, when he went back and played that first game back in Charlotte, which I thought was nice. Because really, he did a lot for that organization, and I think he probably would have been just as happy staying there if they had paid him and whatnot, but they didn't, and now he's a Celtic. But I was glad they gave him a little tribute and everything. Hydration break. Yeah, I brought water tonight instead of Red Bull, so I don't get so wired up that I can't ever sleep. I did still have some Red Bull this evening, but I'm not drinking it currently, so maybe I'll sleep before 4 a.m. Oh, I know, Jay Allen, especially, I mean, you're a bit of a Hornets fan, aren't you? Yeah, I mean, that's got to be so weird for Kemba to not be there. I mean, he's been your franchise cornerstone since you drafted him. It's just so strange that I so strongly associate him with that program. It will take me a while to get used to saying Kemba Walker for the Celtics, that's for sure. Mickey says he needs some Nets and Jazz to get busy with it. Yeah, we got a long ways to go, though, yet. I mean, we've still got many, many, many boxes left to go. I mean, we've only been through 2 out of the 10, so we got a long time yet to go to find your Nets and your Jazz. Yeah, Jay Allen, I thought you were pretty close to Charlotte, but I couldn't remember exactly how far, but I was thinking you were fairly close to there. I wouldn't mind having an NBA team. I wouldn't necessarily want them in Lexington, but I wouldn't mind having one in Louisville. I don't know why I wouldn't really want one in Lexington. I guess I just really don't think we would maybe totally have a big enough fan base for them. Everybody around here is pretty collegiate, sports oriented. But in Louisville, I think they would definitely be a good draw if we had a pro basketball team there. But I don't think anybody's in the market to move, and I don't think they're really talking about expansion teams right now either. And when they do come up with expansion teams, you know Seattle's going to be the one knocking on the door. They're still not over losing the Supersonics, you know. When they moved to Oklahoma City, that just about did Seattle in, man. In fact, I think, didn't they end up making a deal when they left Seattle to become the Thunder? Isn't there a provision in there, basically, that allows for Seattle, if there is an expansion team, that expansion team would get back all of the Supersonics, like records and history and all that? Instead of staying with the Thunder, it would revert back to whatever the new Seattle expansion team was, including maybe the name. Sarich and the Suns. A little veteran ink there. How about that? And another example, of course, of somebody who's in a different uniform than the team that you see on the card, but it does go to the Suns, as noted on the card. But I want to say that is the deal they made, that if an expansion team goes there, that they would get it all back. The name, the history, the whole deal. So you could, in theory, have a rebirth of the Supersonics, I think. That's the way it was set up. Jay Allen says the Rockets, Pistons, and Blazers need to get it in gear for him. He's not feeling the love for his teams right now either, huh? Yeah, I mean, this is a tough product just because, good grief, it takes so long to go through it all. For, you know, a couple of hits per box, there's an awful lot of cards in each box. Well, yeah, like I know they're supposed to be able to add an expansion team, but I do think that they would get to retain all that stuff. I think that was part of the deal. It's basically what happened with the Pelicans, except it wasn't written into the deal, and obviously they did it down the road. Because, you know, they started out in Charlotte, of course, and then relocated to New Orleans, and they were briefly the New Orleans Hornets. And then when the Charlotte Hornets expansion team came into play, the New Orleans Hornets changed their name at that point to the Pelicans, and they returned all of the records and the history of the original Charlotte Hornets to, well, to the now Charlotte Hornets, the original, you know, Charlotte records before New Orleans moved. They returned all those records back up to the current Hornets when they were the Charlotte Bobcats, when they first came in as an expansion team, and then the Hornets gave them the name and the records and everything back. Well, I say Hornets, but they were Hornets then, Pelicans now. Was that confusing? I feel like it was. I feel like I didn't explain that well. Lugens Dort, Oklahoma City Thunder. Oh, Jay Allen says just exactly what I was just talking about. I just looked over at chat and see that Jay Allen typed in there. That's how the Hornets came back. Same deal from the Bobcats. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It happens like that sometimes. But that one I think New Orleans just did out of the goodness of their heart. It's numbered to 99. Whereas in the Seattle deal, I think it was somehow written into the deal. To 199, Derek White and the Spurs. Jalen, you're confused about it still and you live through it. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's almost like just because they gave it back, it's almost like the Hornets never left, you know? It's almost like there were, that it wasn't an expansion team, even though it is, because they gave them all the records and stuff back. So this is the tip-off that I was speaking about earlier. Obviously, we've got a couple of different teams involved on each card that we see, like this Spurs and Nuggets on this particular card. It's going to sit right up there in housekeeping. Any others that I find, I will set up there as well. If I happen to go past one, not to worry. When I'm sorting, I will find it and will be able to easily tell where it goes, because the way we give those out is to use random.org at the end, and I just simply do like right side of the card, left side of the card, and then that way it's across the board. And if I've accidentally stacked one in the wrong spot, it would still be super easy to know where it goes. It's one of the reasons I do it that way. The other reason is nobody wants to sit and do that, you know, team by team on a zillion cards like that. So a little more efficient all the way around. Courtside. Kind of like those courtside ones, just, you know, because it's a little different action shot than we normally see. So kind of cool. Did I tell you guys that Origins is going to be in basketball this year? Yeah, they're making an Origins basketball product. I'm sure it's going to be impossible to get, like impossible, unless I want to pay 2 or 3 times the release price. I'm probably will get 1 or 2 token cases, and that's it. Because unfortunately, basketball being hot as it is this year, all the distributors are just giving out such tiny amounts of product. It's ridiculous. And then they hold the rest of it back and charge you twice the price, starting like on release day. It's not like they hold it back and then they, you know, 2 or 3 weeks later, it's twice the price. No, on release day, it's twice the price. So I would say that most basketball this year, especially the stuff like that, Origins, the new stuff, Contenders, all that, they're probably going to really stick it to me this year and everybody else. So I'm guessing that most basketball products for 2019-20, I may only have 1, 2, 3 cases of, whereas in the past I might have had 4, 5, or 6 cases of stuff. The way it's trending so far this year, I seriously doubt that's how it's going to work. Distributors are being super greedy right now, which is so frustrating, you know, because we spend so much money with them and we buy the hot products and the products that aren't hot. You have to kind of buy everything, good, bad, or indifferent, but yet when the good stuff comes along, they will give you hardly any of it. Unless, as I say, you want to wait until release day and pay them like 100% markup. And then you can order more, but it's terrible. But I can guarantee you that aside from Origins, I am quite certain that Panini is going to put out just a zillion more basketball products than we've had in past years. Just because it's so hot this year, basketball. Good group of rookies. They're just going to pour out everything they can think of. I would be willing to bet we will see probably quite a bit more than we have seen in recent years, is what I'm thinking. But I'm glad to see Origins. I think that's a nice addition. Like that product anyway. So, Calvin Murphy. And little Calvin here is for the Rockets. Throwback. Little throwback ink for Jay Allen and the Rockets with Calvin Murphy. So Jay Allen's officially on the board with some ink tonight. We still got to get Mickey sorted out, though, don't we, Mickey? You're still waiting on your teams to show up in here. Next week, we've got certified basketball coming out on Wednesday. And high-tech baseball and what else? I've already forgotten. Charles Barkley, 76ers, Legends of the Ball, hollow foil. There is a third thing, but I don't remember now what it is. Friday of next week, we have a new football product coming out. It is Impeccable, I think is what it is. Is it Impeccable? Did we already do Impeccable football? If we already did Impeccable, it's Immaculate. If we already did Immaculate, it's Impeccable. But at any rate, it's like one or the other of those. Coming out pretty soon. Next Friday, I think it is. All right, give me 1 second. I'm getting organized over here to create a little extra space for stacking of the cards. We do have a little bit more Immaculate basketball, but just one case, I believe. And that we are breaking Monday or Tuesday. And that'll be the last of Immaculate. We've got a little more 18-19 Flawless to do. And then, of course, 19-20 Flawless. That's the other thing that comes out on Wednesday. Flawless Collegiate Basketball 1920 comes out. We've been opening 18-19 Flawless, which also just came out. Isn't that confusing? Panini likes to overlap for basketball. Finishing up 18-19 when they're already not halfway through, but when they're already, have released a bunch of 2019-20 products. I don't think that makes much sense, but nonetheless, that's how they do it. Jay Allen, I think you were interested in Flawless Baseball. The release date on that got pushed again, by the way. Yeah, moved again. Quinn Cook and the Lakers autograph. It's now scheduled for, I want to say, the 20th, I think it was. Aaron Gordon to 199 for the Magic. And for Flawless Baseball, my guy, my rep, I only ordered it from one place. Most stuff I order from all of my distributors so I can get as much as possible. But Flawless Baseball is usually not one you have a very hard time getting. And I just ordered it from one of my distributors and then realized way after the fact, when it was too late, that he forgot to enter my order. So he didn't enter my pre-order when I put it in there. So I may have a hard time getting it. He's going to still try to get me some, but basically, once they allocate it, becomes kind of difficult, and he somehow Like everything else that I pre-ordered at the same time, he entered, but somehow miraculously overlooked that one. So we may or may not have Flawless Baseball to open when it's all said and done. To 99, there's Buddy Hield and the Sacramento Kings. But of all the ones to forget, I'd rather it be Flawless Baseball than one of the Flawless Basketballs, honestly, or one of the Flawless Footballs. Houston Rockets and James Harden Spark Plug Hollow Foil Insert. So, I don't know. We'll see if he coughs up a case for me or not when it's all said and done. It was kind of his fault, but I also didn't catch that it wasn't entered, so kind of my fault for not backtracking behind him, but he's usually very reliable about that sort of thing. Yeah, J. Allen, there's not going to be any Bowman High Tech this year. It got replaced with, what was it we opened? Platinum? Was it Platinum? I don't know. Anyway, there was a different Bowman product this year. I think it was Platinum. And that more or less replaced High Tech. So we still have Topps High Tech, but my understanding is no Bowman High Tech this year. So, and it basically, Platinum fell into about the same spot on the calendar where we had Bowman High Tech, where it would have been. So I'm pretty sure that we're not going to have Bowman High Tech. Well, I know we're not. I've already been seeing orders for 2020 products, so we pre-ordered the last of the 2019 stuff several months ago. Topps always has you pre-order about 6 months ahead of time, roughly. Panini's windows are a little tighter, can be anywhere from 30 to 90 days ahead of time, but usually you have a little better feel for things ordering 1 to 3 months out. Topps, 6 months out, you're just guessing as to whether or not you're going to have a strong year for rookies or whatnot. Do you guys see that James Wiseman's been ruled ineligible by the NCAA, although Memphis keeps playing him? Wiseman got a court order, an injunction that allowed him to play in the game yesterday or day before. But now that's a couple of games, counting preseason stuff, that he's played in since they have notified them that he's ineligible. So if he loses the court battle, then Memphis is going to have to vacate those wins. I hope, honestly, that they let him play. The kid is awesome. But the circumstances are so weird. It's a very kind of convoluted thing. So James Wiseman played, of course, like every other kid in the world, AAU basketball, kind of like a summer league for high school basketball, if you will. And they're a pretty big deal. Most of you, I'm sure, know about it. And Penny Hardaway, of course, was one of the coaches in that before he jumped over and joined Memphis. Mark Price for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Hoops Inc. And so back when he was still an AAU coach, James Wiseman relocated so that he could be in the, I guess, geographic area or whatever to play on one of Hardaway's teams. And those guys, high-level guys, move around a lot. So when that happened, well before Penny Hardaway was hired by Memphis, or even probably that job was open, he gave James Wiseman's mother like $11,500. That's oddly specific, but I think that's what it was. $11,500 for moving expenses to relocate, which at that time, it didn't matter. I mean, the kid was in high school. There was no rule against it. This was just an AAU coach. Like, who cares, right? And then I think they self-reported that even when Memphis was recruiting James Wiseman. I think they had self-reported that this happened a few years back. A highlights for Russell Westbrook and the Thunder. Hollow foil as well. And so I guess at the time, either the NCAA must not have said he was ineligible or something. Otherwise, why would they have carried on? But anyway, then we know the rest of the story. So they hire Hardaway, and he recruits Wiseman, and they're off to the races. Now the NCAA goes back and says, well, Penny Hardaway, like 10 years ago, gave a big donation to his alma mater, Memphis, like $1 million endowment for scholarship fund or something. And according to the NCAA, there's a Russell Westbrook Rockets. Once again, ignore the uniform. Rockets. Spark plugs. So, well, I had my hand over the logo, didn't I? Rockets. Or my thumb over it. So because he gave this $1 million gift to the university like 10 years ago, before he was a coach or would have ever been considered to be a coach there or anything else, they said that makes him a lifetime booster for the university. So, or as they say, booster in perpetuity. Meaning that now he has given an illegal benefit to James Wiseman all these years later. So how convoluted is that? 76ers and the Magic. So that's why he's ineligible. Allegedly ineligible. Unless the court says otherwise. But I think that's just crazy. I mean, that was years before Hardaway had been hired to coach there and interacted with James Wiseman, and all this happened so, way before any of the hiring of Hardaway or recruiting of Wiseman as a result of hiring of Hardaway, before any of that happened. So it's hard to really tell that kid, hey, you're going to have to give up your whole season because of this stuff that your mom did, 2 or 3 years ago that you didn't even know about at that time. So I hope they let him play, but I don't know if they're going to. He might end up in Australia with LaMelo Ball, you never know. Who apparently is burning it up down under, by the by. Keep hearing all kinds of stuff about LaMelo Ball and that he's looking really quite good, so I would say he didn't look really all that good in Lithuania, or wherever they were for that reality show. This backstage pass is numbered. It is a hollow foil. It's numbered in the upper left to 25, and it is Jokic for the Nuggets, numbered to 25. Took us a while to get to that last autograph out of this box, but here it is. It's the Cleveland Cavaliers and Dylan Wendler. Below it, numbered to 199, my man Rajon Rondo for the Lakers. I think he's played for practically every team in the league, Rajon. But we used him terribly when he played at Kentucky. That was Tubby Smith, and we didn't get nearly the production out of Rajon Rondo that we should have because he just didn't play him right. Jay Allen says it is 13-3 Kentucky halftime. He's going to have to go to bed because he is feeling tired. Jay Allen has to get up so early. It's awful. I feel bad for you. And I agree with you that the NCAA, as you say, is quote-unquote dumb. All right, so you are out of here and reminding me that you want Rockets, Pistons, and Blazers. All right, brother, I'll work on it. Still working on some mojo for Mickey, too. Let's see what we can come up with. I'll tell you another thing that I think is kind of a dumb thing, since that's kind of the word of the moment. is this business of resting the stars this early in the season. Healthy scratches of Kawhi Leonard, for instance. Because it's just, yeah, we want to keep him fresh for the playoff run. And so they just, they're sitting these guys. And honestly, it's supposed to be the opposite. The NBA was supposed to be trying to discourage setting stars for especially marquee matchups or things of that nature, televised. I guess everything's televised somewhere or another, but you know what I mean. And instead, we're getting more than ever. And the NBA had some kind of odd reaction to the Kawhi Leonard thing. Like, well, he might have a hurt something or another. So, yeah, we're not calling it a healthy scratch. We're saying he's injured. Or, I mean, it was something just kind of bizarre. Because essentially the team had said, more or less, I think, that they were resting him. And I know their schedule is brutal. There's no question. An NBA regular season schedule is brutal. And it has to be really hard on their bodies. But I think that it would be in everyone's best interest to just lighten their schedule and let the guys play than to keep the heavier schedule and then be sitting your stars on a pretty regular basis all season. Because I don't know, I mean, I'd be kind of ticked. Let's say I bought a ticket to a big matchup because I wanted to see XYZ play, Anthony Davis or whoever, and then you get there and, oh yeah, Anthony Davis is on the bench in street clothes because it's his rest day or whatever. I mean, I think that would be pretty frustrating as a fan. And I think the NBA, that's one of the reasons they don't want to have that happen a lot, but I do think they would be perhaps wiser just to lighten the load as opposed to looking the other way on rest days. When is the next CBA? Does anybody remember the next collective bargaining agreement coming up for basketball? I bet they'll change a bunch of stuff when it does. They always do. Hopefully we won't have another lockout like we did before. What was that, 2011, wasn't it? Justin Jackson and Dallas, the Mavericks. More road to the finals. I'd say football is going to be throwing a fit when they're next at the bargaining table as well. They're going to be advocating for, I'm sure, fewer preseason games, which who can blame them? Probably shorter seasons and or no Thursday games. I think they all hate Thursday games because they're always a short rest week. And then, of course, baseball, they always have something they get into when they renegotiate baseball, too. Automated strike zones. Yeah, that'll be what they'll be arguing against. Supposedly, they're going to try that out with some minor league teams. This upcoming season, they're going to have some, I guess, have to be like a robotic umpire or some sort of measurement like that, because they are apparently going to have an automated strike zone on a trial run, which we've all kind of been thinking is coming, but yet really, it's coming, but you think, no, surely it won't, right? Baseball's so old school, surely it won't. But yeah, I think it is. Quinn Cook, numbered to 99, Lakers. Mafwandu, whose last name I cannot say, for the Clippers. Rookie Inc. headed to the Clippers. Is that you, Mickey? No, you're the Nets, aren't you? You're not the Clippers. You're maybe the Nets. And the Jazz, is that right? It's to 199 for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Who is the Clippers? Cannot remember. But anyway, that was for the Clippers regardless. I think Nets and Jazz are who we've got to find for you, Mickey. D'Angelo Russell as a Warrior, Golden State Warriors. So again, you've got to overlook the uniform on the card. Look to the team that is printed there instead. Spurs, DeMar DeRozan. And what else have we got in here? I wish they would just all go the same direction. I hate when they have them some going one way and some going another way within the same pack. It makes me crazy. But that is how they do it over there at Panini. All right, we are 6 boxes in. We have 4 boxes left to go. So we've still got a pretty good little size amount of stuff to look through. So if we haven't hit what you want yet, don't despair. Still have 4 boxes left. Oh, Jay Allen, you were still listening while you were getting ready to go to bed, and you looked it up. The next CBA is 2022. All right, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I thought it was sooner than that, so I guess we don't have to worry about anything for a couple more years anyway. Thank you for checking that out, by the way. You're probably already in bed because you already typed in good night, so it's probably already gone, but maybe you'll watch the replay and then you'll hear it. So thank you. All right, Mickey says out of the 8 autographs left, he needs the Nets and the Jazz to show up. He's just looking for 1 autograph. Well, hopefully we can scrape you one up out of these last 8. The Nets do hit a lot in things. We've talked about that, I don't know, in one break recently about how the Nets were always my reset team. And by that, I mean sometimes I would go on really long dry spells when I was bidding on other people's breaks in basketball. I would sometimes seem like go forever and either not get a hit for the team at all or not get the player that I wanted or whatever. You know, in other words, going a long period of time with no real luck. And so when that would happen to me, I would tend to go in and find a break and buy the Nets. Because the Nets usually sell for not much money. I mean, they'll be selling for more probably now that Kevin Durant and Kyrie and whatnot are there. But before that, the Nets usually brought not much money. Even in the higher end products, you could pick them up fairly inexpensively. And it seems like they hit a disproportionate amount of the time. So when I would get stuck in those dry spells, I'd go in and buy the Nets and a few breaks and usually get some hits. Whether I wanted them or not wasn't really the point. I was always just kind of trying to reset my mojo. And quite often, you hit the Nets. Can't explain it, but they do hit a lot. In fact, I think, didn't we hit some Nets out of the first half of this? I think we did, actually. I don't remember who the player was, but I want to say we did. So yeah, I don't know. It is odd, though, how often they hit. And I would say they'll probably start hitting a little more since they've beefed their lineup. Now, with their nice off-season acquisitions, I would expect we should start seeing them show up a little more. One would assume, anyway. Although sometimes I do wonder how they decide who's going to be in any given product. Sometimes it's strange choices. Over there at dear old Panini. Mickey says with his luck, it'll be the night they don't hit when he has them. Oh, no. I paraphrase that a little bit, but that's basically what you're saying. No, let's not think that way. Let's think that we're gonna find you some. That's what, we'll keep a positive attitude about it, and hopefully it will manifest itself. Klay Thompson and the Warriors. So much shuffling around of talent last year. It's really reset things. I don't think we're going to be looking for Golden State Warriors to get to the finals again. At least certainly not the way it looks right now. A Celtics hit is on the horizon here. Dana Barros. For Boston. And this is facing around backwards. Let's take a look at that. That's the Rockets to 99 with Shumpert. Yeah, I'm hoping we hit some big stuff maybe out of these last couple boxes myself. I would like to see that. Oscar Robertson, Legends of the Ball. Hollow foil insert. Wow, it was a Celtics kind of box. Both autographs in here went to the Celtics. There's a rookie Romeo Langford. Oh man, might be the first time I've seen his signature. That's all we're going to get. Initials. I hate that. Like, at least draw a little line, right? Like, make the L and then just make a little line with even a little hump or a bump in it. Just make it look like you tried to sign the rest of it, not just the stupid initials. But, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the first I've seen his autograph this year. That's dreadful. LeBron and the Lakers with an NBA City Hollow foil. Of course, you all know that's pet peeve of mine anyway, or many of you know that. Many of you bid with me often and know that I hate when we get signatures like that are initials or half A signed. Sometimes people don't even bother to sign their last initial. They'll just sign one initial. That's even worse. Just a 199 Raptors. That does truly make me crazy, especially because they're paid for it. They're getting paid for it. I mean, take the extra 2 seconds, guys. De'Aaron Fox, Spark Plugs, Sacramento Kings. Oh, that's a little Zion. We do have, of course, more hoops. I don't know exactly when we'll get around to breaking it, but there is more of it. I usually don't buy more than a case of it, honestly, occasionally too, but I don't buy a ton of it. Another highlights. I want to say this might be our third highlights out of this half, our second anyway, maybe our third. We only had maybe one in the first half. But this year I did buy a little bit extra, not a ton extra, mainly because of how long it takes to break it and sort it. But a couple more cases anyway that will get worked in somewhere along the way. I have a little more Prism draft picks too. We'll probably break that, I don't know, Friday or Saturday of next week. I would say we'll probably break some more Prism draft picks basketball. And about this time next week, hoops again too, most likely. Maybe one night and one the other. One Friday, one Saturday. Something like that. Well. Oh, well, look at that. I just made a big mess, didn't I? Hate getting them out of the wrappers because it's delayed gratification, which is a concept I'm not good with. I want to instantly know what's in the box without having to stop and take all those things out of wrappers. I just want to know. Sadly, it doesn't work that way. All right. I'm always kind of messed up when we don't have mail service for a day. So the fact that there's no mail service on Monday kind of messes with me. I have such a shipping routine that when there's a holiday thrown in there, it really just, I don't like it. And I forgot that it was a holiday. Somebody reminded me in the break. I don't remember if it was Jay Allen or who it was. Might have been Jay Allen, but somebody reminded me the other night, or Nicholas Bowers, could have been him, but someone did. Said, oh, because I had shown something might ship out on Monday, and they were like, oh, no, there's no mail on Monday. I said, oh, no. So instead, I stayed up super, super late and then got up super, super early and got that extra breakout today that I had said would go Monday because I didn't want it to be late. Lionel Hollins and the Trailblazers. But, you know, that was not ideal, but I do like to keep my stuff on schedule when I say it's going to go, except for the rare circumstances when something completely unavoidable happens, and occasionally that does happen, and things will get out of whack a little in regard to when I get it out versus when I thought I was going to get it out, but mostly I like it to pretty well be when I project it, so got a little bit less sleep than I might have preferred, but I got it out early. Instead of Monday, it went today. That's only because my carrier, I'm breaking in a new carrier. My guy that I had forever who was so awesome. I mean, was just so good. And then I had a temporary carrier after my guy changed his route, and that guy was really, really good. But he was only there temporarily. Now the new person that's on the route, I'm trying to get broken in, and while that person is nice, not going to be as probably quite as accommodating as the other two people I've been used to working with. Quindary Weatherspoon and the Spurs. This is numbered to 199, Gary Harris and the Nuggets. But it still does let me get stuff out later on Saturday than I would if I had to go into the counter, because counter closes, of course, super early on Saturdays. Whereas my current carrier will pick me up later than the counter anyway, to 99 for the Nuggets, but won't do it last thing of the day. My prior two carriers would make it like their last stop of the day sometimes, and I could get almost a full work day's worth of stuff out on Saturday when that was the case, but sadly it is not now. But still more than it would have been otherwise, I guess, so that's good. Take what we can get, right? But it's difficult to even drop anything off at my branch office, which is why I almost always have it picked up instead. They only have one little counter, and it's right by the door. Like, of all the places you would think it would be, you would think it would be on the one farthest from the exit, not the one closest. And I say that because it is always packed to the gills. I mean, there's just be stuff stacked all over the place. And half the time you'll go in there and either the clerks are paying no attention to that end of the counter, or they're in the back, like getting a package or something. You'll go in and there'll be no clerk up there at all. And then here's all these packages stacked right by the exit door. So, like, how easy would it be just to grab one and be out the door, and that would be that. So I just don't like leaving my stuff in there. I mean, I've never had anything stolen from there, and I've never heard of anybody having anything stolen from there. But somehow it makes me nervous. I don't like it. So I try to avoid going to the counter anyway. And if I do, most of the time I'll try to just stand in line and hand my stuff directly to an employee rather than putting it on that little, prepaid counter. And it wouldn't even be so bad if they just had somebody that would come and clean it off. Even if they didn't scan it right that second, just set it in the floor, set it back, set it somewhere where you couldn't just grab and go, but they don't do that either. So this is box 9 of 10 that's coming out of the wrappers right now. This is a good product for set builders because it's a nice set, that manageable number, I think. And one that's opened in bulk a lot, so it would be a good one. I don't know if there's many people doing set building, though, as used to. Mainly, I guess, because it breaks. Makes that a little bit different. Another highlight, and this is Russell Westbrook for the Thunder. We may have already seen a highlight, Russell Westbrook. We have seen more highlights out of this half than certainly we did out of the first half. But I wouldn't swear that Westbrook was one of them, but I think he was. But he is the, Thunder on that card. So, again, sometimes these guys are in here on more than one team, depending on which kind of insert, whether you're looking at base or which insert you're looking at and whatever. So, Kobe Bryant. There's the big hit we've been waiting for. I would have said last box mojo came and worked for us, except this is the next to last box. But we have some next to last box mojo. Kobe, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's one. I used to pull Kobe all the time, and I still pull him fairly often, even as you see, out of products like this. I kind of have a little bit of a Kobe magnet, I think. I pull him quite frequently. So for the Lakers, Kobe Bryant is nice to see coming out here of box number 9. All righty. sorry, I'm just making sure. Yeah, I thought for whatever reason, I thought for a second I had put a different card in that stack than I meant to, but I guess I didn't because I just looked and it wasn't there. We're approaching the end of the run tonight, but not quite there. But here's what happens when we do get there. After we look through the rest of the cards in this box and in that final box, we will then use random.org to find a home for those tip-off cards. And after we do that, we will recap a few things. Our first courtside that is also a hollow foil, and it goes to the Trailblazers, Mr. Lillard. So that's kind of the general way that things are going to flow. Then after we do the recap, I'll put up the spreadsheet information again. So if anyone missed it earlier, you'll get another opportunity to check out when you can expect your items to ship. And then we'll also take another quick little run through the breaks that are coming up in the days ahead. Look at this, Mickey. Are you still there? You didn't give up on me, did you? Because you know what I have? A net. Ah, I told you, the nets, they show up all the time. Jalen Hands, Brooklyn Nets. And I kind of think we pulled the Nets out of the first half of this case, too. I think maybe we did. Lonnie Walker to 99 for the Spurs. So, see, I told you, Mickey, not to give up on me too soon. Not with the Nets, especially, because they have that way about them. Rockets, Westbrook. So we saw an insert earlier that was Russell Westbrook and the Thunder, but that one was Russell Westbrook and the Rockets. Number to 199, Paul Gasol. Alrighty, who else have we got in here? We already pulled both of our autographs out of here. Yeah, we did. The Nets and the other one was Kobe. See how quickly I forget? I'm all excited about Kobe, and then I'm like, wait, did he come out of this box? Yeah, he did. He did indeed. All right, this is going to put us squarely at the time of the night where we call out Last Box Mojo. And here's hoping that the Mojo brings us another really good hit. I mean, I'm happy with the Kobe for sure, but I'd like to see one more nice big hit come out of box number 10 in this half case. Oh, eventually they're all going to be out of the wrapper. I hear that sound in my sleep. Man. Topps wrappers are so much easier. You can get that, just tear them right down the back. You don't have to pull them apart at the seams like you do with the panini ones. He says it's Mojo time. He's hoping to get one for his Jazz out of this last box. Or maybe another net. Well, maybe. You never know. As I said, the Nets have a sneaky way of showing up. They always have had. I mean, in recent years, The Nets have always kind of been that way. I can't explain it. All right, kids. Last box mojo indeed. See, one of our signatures right off the bat, coming out early. It's for the 76ers with Mike Scott. So we found one quickly. We're going to still have one hiding around in here somewhere in this last box. Maybe not. Maybe we're going to hit it really quickly, too. Both of them came out really quickly. This is a really nice one, though. Washington Wizards with Rui Hachimura. I say it wrong every time. Anyway, that's a nice hit. His autograph is also just for shit. Whoops, family show. His autograph is also very bad. I do not like his autograph either. But nonetheless, it's a good hit, despite the fact that I don't like the way it physically looks that he signs his name. It's a good hit. Excuse me. Pardon me. I did sneeze into my shoulder, though, so, yeah. I didn't sneeze on your cards or my hands that are touching your cards, FYI. To 199, Justin Jackson, Dallas Mavericks. Swear to you, my allergies, they're practically year-round. Like, what in the heck is causing me allergies now? Probably extreme temperature change. I don't know. Mickey, I said, bless you for my sneeze. Why, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, I know. The Durant autograph would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, I would not mind. I wouldn't have minded hitting that at all. Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky. They'll give us a third autograph in here. You never know. Stranger things, right? It's another tip-off. I mean, it's not super likely, but of all the times I've had Panini mess stuff up, Hoops has always been, not always been, but usually been the one. I remember last year we had a couple of different times when a box of Hoops only had one autograph in it when it should have had two, or whatever the case may be. We might have even had one that didn't have any. I can't recall, but I just remember we had 2 or 3 different boxes of Hoops across the breaks. Blazers that were short what they should have had in them. Fortunately, that doesn't happen very often, but as I said, my experience is when they mess it up, it's usually in a product like that has a ton of cards in it, a ton of base and whatnot. So who knows? Maybe they can mess it up in the opposite direction too and give us some extra hits. We'll be all right with that. That would not make me sad at all if we found extra hits. All right, just a few more to look at here. CrossX says a LeBron was numbered. Which one are you talking about? Like, how far back are you talking about? And did you need to see it again? I'm looking right now at some of the stuff I've set aside to see which one it could be. Were you talking about NBA City or something else? I don't know. You're going to have to give me a little bit more info. As I said, I'm not reading off like all of the numbers. Of course, on the stuff, some of the stuff that's really high numbered, you guys have noticed as we've gone along tonight, hasn't been read off. But obviously, if it's an insert or a parallel, anything other than veteran base, it's going to go to the teams. So straight up veteran base goes to that particular category, but everything else is going to go to the teams, everything but veteran base. The city one. Okay, I can go back and try to find it in a minute. Let's go ahead and look through the rest of these, and then I can go back and try to find that one. It's got to be in one of those stacks over there. But as to which one, I don't know. It's the hollow foil, I'm sure, because I don't think the base ones of that are numbered. So I'm certain it's the NBA City hollow foil for him. I'm pretty sure. Since you said yes, it was the city, would be the hollow foil one. So I can probably find it. It'll just take me a minute. So we'll look through this last little bit. A little Chris Paul and the Oklahoma City Thunder. That is a hollow foil backstage pass. And I'm guessing it was probably lower numbered too then, right? I'm going to guess that's probably the case. So let me see if I can find it. All right, let's look for Mr. LeBron James, hollow foil NBA City. It may take me a minute, but I'm looking for it for you because I've got like 4, 5 different stacks here going of the stuff that goes to teams, and I could not tell you which stack I put that in is the problem. Oh, here we go. This is it. I got it. Got it. We got it. That's why I stacked the team stuff separate from the base stuff. So if we got to go find something, it makes it a little easier. Yeah, there's the number over there to the side. Totally missed the number. Good eyes, Cross X. Thank you. That is number 225 for the LeBron James. I would have certainly read that out had I caught it going through, but I didn't catch it going through. Missed it originally. All right, so we've got to deal with all these. We've got Blazers and Spurs, Sixers and Magic. Oh, those are both Lakers, oddly enough. Because I guess now, since LeBron is a Laker, so it's Laker tip-off. How strange. Anyway, that one doesn't have to go to random because, well, they're both Lakers. And here we have Spurs and Nuggets. So what we're going to do is go to random.org for these. And it's a pretty simple process. I'm just simply going to type in left side and right side because we have we have fewer than 10 in our list. We're going to do random 3 different times. First 2 will not count. It is only the third and final random that will decide for us. Whoops. And I do it the same way every time, guys. So when we have 10 or more, we do random once. Anytime we have 9 or fewer, we do it 3 times. I always enter cards either left to right or top to bottom, depending on how they're oriented. It's like McDonald's. You can expect it the same way every time when we do random. So in this case, it is oriented left to right. That's how they're typed in. We're doing it 3 times. First 2 don't count. So ignore the first one. Ignore the second one. Here comes our third and final. That is 3 times our date and time stamp. It gives us the left-hand side of the card. So let's see what that means to us. That means that the Spurs get this one. And this is in a sleeve. I am circling on the sleeve, not the card itself, just so that I know where this is going to go when it comes time to sort without having to go back and look it up. 76ers, once again, I'm going to circle on the sleeve, not the card. And this little bad boy here is the Trailblazers on the left-hand side of that card. All right, so that takes care of all of those. Now, for our recap, I tell you what, there were only 2 in here that were numbered lower than 99, so let's just go ahead and recap them along with our signatures. We had the Nuggets and Jokic on a backstage pass numbered to 25. And then the NBA City that Cross X was able to catch for me. I missed that going through, numbered to 25. See, I'm thinking, they're all going to be, one of the corners. I didn't even catch it going down the side. So anyway, that one to 25 for LeBron James and the Lakers. Our autographs. This is a nice one. Rui Hachimura for the Washington Wizards. Good young rookie. Mike Scott in the 76ers. The Brooklyn Nets with Jalen Hands. There's that handsome Kobe Bryant card for the Lakers. Quindary Weatherspoon for the Spurs. Lionel Hollins for the Trailblazers. Romeo Langford and the Celtics. This is also the Celtics with Dana Barros. Mafundu, I can't say his last name, Cabanagel or something like that for the Clippers. Justin Jackson, Dallas Mavericks. Dylan Windler and the Cleveland Cavaliers. There's a little Mark Price. That is also for the Cavaliers. Quinn Cook for the Lakers. Calvin Murphy for the Rockets. Old school. Oklahoma City Thunder, Luguentz Dort. Dario Saric for the Suns. Cavaliers again. I didn't realize we had that many Cavaliers. Kevin Porter Jr. And the Washington Bullets are the same as the Washington Wizards. It used to be the Bullets, now they're the Wizards. Jack Marin to the Wizards. And then we have James Ennis, 76ers. And we got it started tonight with Brandon Clark and the Memphis Grizzlies. All right, kids, that is the break. That is the recap. Let's go ahead and get our spreadsheet information back up on the screen. If you missed it earlier, now is your chance to find out about your projected shipping date and all kinds of other fun stuff. So, Monday, no mail service, pick up, drop off, or anything in between because it is Veterans Day, holiday for the post office. So anything that is printed tonight, Sunday, Monday, it's not going to be picked up and out the door until Tuesday, even if the label prints between now and then. What we're open tonight, which is hoops, I'm projecting to get out the door and on the way to you approximately Wednesday. If I can get it out to you Tuesday, I will happily do so. Everybody pull cards in here, no need for consolation cards. And a final reminder that Veteran Base had its own bidding spot. Veteran Base does not ship to the teams. I'm sure everybody knows that because you probably saw it in the listing description. Here's what's coming up in the days ahead. Tomorrow night is an off night. No breaks tomorrow. On Monday, Leaf Best Baseball, Immaculate Basketball, and Gold Label Baseball, all by the full case. Tuesday, half case of Leaf Autograph Mini Helmets and Topps Update Jumbo Baseball. Base does not ship to the teams there. Base Cards has its own bidding category. More information in the listing description. On Wednesday, it's a big new release day once again, and we will start early at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. We're going to open a half case of 1920 Flawless Collegiate Basketball, a full case of High-Tech Baseball, and a full case of Certified Basketball. On Thursday night, we're going to open a half case of Leaf Autograph Football jerseys, a full case of Topps Archive Signature Series Retired Player Edition, a half case of Flawless Basketball, and a full case of Bowman Chrome Jumbo, also known as HTA Baseball, where it is all hits and no base in that particular break. And you know what I just realized? There's like no football in there. I didn't manage to get any football in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Well, other than jerseys and helmets, so I don't know. I kind of messed up there, didn't I? Should have scheduled in some football. But anyway, that's how it looks. It's already up on eBay, so too late now. That is it for me tonight. As always, I appreciate you being here, spending part of your evening with me, bidding and breaking and chatting. So thank you once again. If I don't see you tomorrow night, well, I won't see you tomorrow night, will I? Because I'm off tomorrow night. But if I don't see you again Monday night, I hope I will see you again soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you the next time. Bye now.